74,000 years ago, the sky over Indonesia turned black. It stayed that way for 6 years. A volcano named Toba erupted with a force no human has ever witnessed since. It didn't just destroy an island. It may have nearly destroyed our entire species. Here's the strange part. We're not guessing about this from old bones in the ground. We're reading it inside your own cells, right now. In your DNA, every person alive today carries a genetic signature of a population crash. At some point in our deep past, the number of humans on Earth dropped to a number you could fit inside a small town. Some scientists estimate it fell as low as a few thousand individuals. Not a few thousand in one region, a few thousand on the entire planet. Think about that for a second. Right now, over 8 billion humans exist. At one point, our entire species may have been smaller than your local school district. So what happened? In 1972, researchers studying human blood proteins noticed something odd. There was almost no variation, barely any genetic diversity at all. For a species this widespread, that shouldn't be possible, unless something had wiped most of us out first. Later studies on mitochondrial DNA backed it up. They pointed to a population of 1,000 to 10,000 people sometime between 35 and 65,000 years ago. That's not a typo. 10,000 for the entire human race. Scientists call this a genetic bottleneck. Picture a river forced through a narrow pipe. Whatever doesn't fit through gets left behind forever. That's what happened to human genetic diversity. Almost all of it left behind. And one of the leading suspects for what caused it was Toba. When Toba erupted, it didn't just spew lava. It threw ash into the sky on a planetary scale. Some researchers believe it triggered a volcanic winter, a stretch of years where the sun barely reached the ground. Global temperatures may have dropped by several degrees, plants failed, food chains broke. For a species that had only just learned to survive outside Africa, this should have been the end. Why didn't it kill us? Here's where the story gets even stranger, because not everyone agrees this is what actually happened. Archaeologists started digging in places like India, and they found something they didn't expect. Human tools made before Toba and after Toba, sitting in the exact same layers of Earth. If the eruption had truly wiped out the local population, those layers should show a gap, a silence, evidence of nobody being there. Instead, the tools kept being made. Life, it seems, kept going. Researchers studying ash layers in East Africa found something else, too. The vegetation barely changed. No sign of the years-long volcanic winter some models had predicted. So now you have two pieces of evidence that flatly disagree. Your DNA says something massive happened to our population. The ground, in some places, says Toba might not be the reason. Which one is wrong? Maybe neither. Maybe both are true, just not connected the way we assumed. Some scientists now think the bottleneck happened slower, not from one single eruption. A long decline over tens of thousands of years, as small groups pushed further from Africa. Every time a small band split off to find new land, they carried only a fraction of the population's genes with them. Do that enough times, across enough generations, and you get the same result without needing a single catastrophe. It's a slower story, less cinematic, but maybe more honest. And here's a fact that puts the whole thing in perspective. Chimpanzees are our closest living relatives, separated from us by only a few million years. Their total population is a fraction of ours. Smaller numbers, smaller range, less time to spread. And yet chimpanzees are genetically far more diverse than humans. Two groups of chimpanzees on opposite banks of the same river can be more genetically different from each other than a person born in Tokyo and a person born in Toronto. Read that again. A river separates those chimpanzees. An entire planet separates us. We are still the less diverse species. That's not what you'd expect from a species that conquered every continent on Earth. It's exactly what you'd expect from a species that almost didn't survive its own beginning. Either way, the number stays almost unbelievable. At some point in our history, the entire human race may have fit inside a single stadium. And from that fragile, narrow population came every person who has ever lived since. Every language, every war, every love story, every empire. All of it traces back through a bottleneck so tight it nearly closed completely. So here's the reframe. You've probably been taught humans are special because we spread across the entire planet. But spreading wasn't the impressive part. The impressive part is that we almost didn't. You are not descended from a thriving, unstoppable species. You are descended from the handful that didn't disappear.